Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Coulson's Angels. Wait, no, shit, no, wrong video. That's a rewind that. Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This time we're on Season 2, Episode 2, titled Heavy is the Head, and saying that this season opened up on a dramatically heavy note would be a vast understatement. The shit that they pulled off with us, the shit they pulled off on us in the season premiere was nothing short of uncalled for. They pulled out the strings of my heart in albeit, I mean, I say it was in brutal ways, but again, I feel like it's nothing compared to what they've got in store for me in the future. So, I keep saying all this stuff like, oh no, they hurt me, this feels so bad, and and it's like, I've got a big storm coming, haven't I? I've got so much more coming on the way that stuff like this just, shows how easy I am to twist and turn, and, how vulnerable I am to, scriptive knives and stuff. But yeah, we were introduced to some new members of the team, or potentially new members, some mercenaries hired by Coulson in the form of Lance Hunter, some more British representation for the show, and Mac as well, and we did have Xena, Warrior Princess, on here as well. We did have Lucy Lawless playing Isabel Hartley, but she was killed in the end, and we also had Idaho, who was also killed. But yeah, we had them, and they were helping Coulson and the team track down other kind of S.H.I.E.L.D. relics and stuff, and well, not S.H.I.E.L.D. relics, but S.H.I.E.L.D. the stuff that was in S.H.I.E.L.D. storage being held in a government facility. And speaking of the government, the government does not like S.H.I.E.L.D. very much. After all the stuff that went down in season 1, I think we start off the season in the wake of Coulson trying to rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D. in after Hydra's kind of uprising and kind of explosion within S.H.I.E.L.D. So I think the main thing that we saw that the world is focused on and the news media is focused on and everything is that S.H.I.E.L.D. is S.H.I.E.L.D. was arguably one of the biggest kind of intelligence organizations in the world, and they were infiltrated by Hydra from the very beginning. It was like the way their reveal was executed, but then just the fact that they were already in S.H.I.E.L.D. and how big their ranks were, that they managed to overpower S.H.I.E.L.D. and override all of their protocols and all their people and stuff. So it's like, if we can't trust S.H.I.E.L.D. to actually, be as strong as they say they are, then how can we trust them this time around and all of that stuff? And we have Talbot back as well. Talbot is working his ass off to kick Coulson's ass, and S.H.I.E.L.D.'s ass as a whole. He's just working to arrest them and bring them in. So yeah, I think at this point, I think they definitely would count as vigilantes in some form. But yeah, we had it. So we had the opening. The opening was a flashback to Agent Carter, to Peggy Carter, and working with the Howling Commandos to take down the last known Hydra base, as well as securing a relic known as the Obelisk that we saw even in the present day, which was the main thing that Coulson had the team trying to track down and retrieve, and it was the first 084. It was the very, very first 084, and it was captured by the SSR, which was back then was what S.H.I.E.L.D. was, but it was the very, very, very first 084, and it is a Hydra relic that I think, you touch it and it kills you. Like, we saw the aftermath of it. In the flashback, we saw some soldiers and people were just, their corpses were, completely transformed into something else, like black and decayed and all that sort of crap, and Hartley tried to use it on Creel, but then she touched it and it turned her, or had started eating away at her arm, and then Hunter tried to chop it off, but then the car crashed and then she died anyway from her injuries and stuff, so that happened. But The Obelisk is what Whitehall is looking for, the dude from the beginning. We saw him at the end. He has not aged a day, and I do not mean that in a compliment kind of way, like oh, he's a great guy. No, he's a dick, and he somehow accessed the Fountain of Youth or some shit. So he has literally not aged a day, and he's putting on a whole British accent now as well. But he is playing Dr. Whitehall, and he has spent all these years, all these 70, 80 years, trying to track down the Obelisk, and now he finally has. He set Creel on its path, and Creel himself, he is the absorbing man, as in he literally absorbs stuff into his body. He can absorb like materials and transform his body into anything like diamonds and wood and concrete and stuff. So he used the rubber tire thing, the properties of the rubber tire to actually pick up the Obelisk. So I think he hasn't been called in yet. They didn't want to draw in too much attention to their whereabouts, so they didn't really call him in just yet. But I think this episode, I think we probably should see him actually going back to Whitehall and his masters over at Hydra to give it back to them. But Crusher was also... People said in the comments that he was also the guy, the one of the last guys to actually fight Daredevil's dad, Jack Murdoch, the battle in Jack Murdoch. And I haven't watched that season in a long time, but looking back, I think I do remember one of those posters that said Crusher versus Murdoch or something. I do vaguely remember that as like an Easter egg in Daredevil alone. So some good heads up from the people down in the comments. But yeah, Crusher, he is the absorbing man. We had Fitz. We literally all we had was Fitz. Well, I thought we had Simmons as well. I thought the writers were kind enough to include Simmons, it being Fitzsimmons. But no, Fitz isn't the same anymore. He's gone under he's suffered from too much brain damage, so he is somewhat falling apart and somewhat trying to keep himself together. But the only thing that helps him keep himself together is literally imagining Simmons there, because Simmons isn't there. She left to God knows where. My theory, she probably went back to see her parents after all the S.H.I.E.L.D. shit went down to make sure that they're okay and that Hydra hasn't touched them. I think that's my theory. She's probably gone back to her homeland in England to visit her parents, and she'll be back hopefully soon enough. But she apparently she also said that, you know, in her absence Fitz might do better, but Fitz is apparently doing worse. Like in her absence, Fitz literally imagines her being there, talking to him, helping him get his words and thoughts out. So yeah, that got me. That really got me. But yeah, that was that. So Obelisk. But yeah, we have Ward as well. Ward was a kind of prisoner for the team. He was the info prisoner. He was like, you know, him having worked for Hydra the entire time, he was the one that they were using to get information on how to fight back against Hydra. And Ward, I mean, could he be a changed man? I don't know. I think he said he had actually multiple suicide attempts back when they first imprisoned him. Like, he tried to cut himself with paper, and then I think he tried to do something with a button, the button of one of his pants or something. Like, he tried to swallow it. So I don't know. Like, he tried to do something with a button, tried to cut himself with paper, then he tried running at the walls and stuff, and then they sedated him. But then apparently when he came out of sedation, he came out a changed man, and that he now has a new perspective on life or whatever. And I think it's mainly just the fact that, you know, he knows that they're not going to let him kill himself, but he's also got nowhere else to go. He's stuck. He's in their kind of maximum security one-man prison. So I think I don't know if he's actually... I mean, I don't want to believe it because I don't want to be stabbed in the back again like the first time when he revealed he was working for Garrett. So I'm just not taking any chances. But he's also just, you know... I mean, I don't know if like 3 or 4 suicide attempts would be enough for him to make him jail. I think it's mainly just the fact that he doesn't want to cooperate with all of them, clearly, because he's only talking to Skye. That's his deal. Like, he'll tell them anything they want as long as he can talk to Skye. Skye, she's evolved. Like, in this season, she's very much changed, not just appearance-wise, but she's being trained by May as well in combat, and also actually, you know, being mentally stable. So she clearly is putting up more of a shield as well. Like, even in that first episode, she's like, you know, you tell me anything other than the answers to the question I ask you, I walk out the door and you won't ever see me again. And his defense for that is, you know, from now on, I'm only ever going to tell you what you want to know. But I think, you know, like right before she cut him off, he mentioned her father, or like right after she cut him off, he mentioned her father and wanting to tell her about him. So that kind of stuff just screams kind of bait to me. Like, he's gonna lure her in and try and like bait her in with secrets of her father, and then she's gonna try and get her to trust him again. So that kind of stuff makes me very, very cautious. But I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to see how things go, but I'm not ever gonna fully trust him again. I'm never gonna fully trust him again, especially after all the flashback stuff we saw with Garrett and Ward, and him even being willing to kill Fitzsimmons, and you know, like Fitz is in that state because of him. Fitz is in that condition because of what Ward did, and he chose to do that. So, you know, it's I can never guarantee my full trust in him again, but I think I'm willing to see how things go this season, see how much they actually let him talk and how much they let him do things he wants. But you know, as long as he remains behind that force field and stuff, then it's all good. It's all good. But that is Ward. And we see that in this season, I think it started the way they started off. They showed that, you know, Hydra is still out there. Like, you know, just because S.H.I.E.L.D. is fighting back doesn't mean that Hydra's letting go or that they're giving in. Like, they're still kind of scurrying around the shadows and still doing their stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Hydra stuff goes down this season. Like, especially with S.H.I.E.L.D. on the kind of rebuilding platform. Seeing how Coulson actually manages to fight back against them, and with Whitehall coming in as well, that's going to be an interesting story to explore. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that was a pretty great season opener. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of this stuff goes. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have for the for episode 1. So episode 2, Heavy is the Head. Let's go.
Good luck.
Oh, the mousetrap! Nice. Yeah. Yeah, just a mini lightsaber. That's nice. Is that a Harley Davidson? I think so.
Creel isn't working alone, and I want to know who he answers to. Drop back into surveillance mode now. That's an order, Agent May.
Yes, sir.
He has a point, though. You know, you follow him, see who he answers to. You take down a much bigger operation than just taking out the one man.
I can't believe she abandoned him like that.
She abandoned all of us. But Fitz has been clinging to his work like a...
So there's a grudge. Great.
Coulson wants a retro version of... I don't know, why don't you ask him?
Hey, Fitzy boy, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
No, sorry, I'm gonna have to go.
Oh, no.
It's like sometimes he's the same old Fitz and other times...
Not.
No.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm still gonna need an extra pair of hands.
Is he ever gonna be the same?
Back from the mission.
Is he ever gonna be the same old Fitz we fell in love with? Is he?
Operation Panther Claw. Come on, Lieutenant.
What was I in Wakanda?
The stories are true. You must be joking.
I don't have a sense of humor.
I never doubted that for a second.
Coulson.
Hunter, I'm not here to play bad cop.
Oh, is Hunter gonna do it? Is he thinking of Hartley? Does he want vengeance for her?
I want 2 million. Done. And a proper burial.
Oh.
Excuse me? For Hartley. I'll make sure she gets it.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, there's Peggy.
You need to loosen up. Try yoga or something.
We'll try May's, like,
Tried it, but
yeah.
I'm really not flexible.
Try May's meditative kung fu.
There's a whole packet of research they just left laying about all willy-nilly for anyone to see.
Is this what Simmons would actually do, or is he imagining what he would want Simmons to do?
Interesting. Should we see what we can do with these?
Yes, we shall, Simmons. Yes, we shall.
Well, I mean, hey, if he feels like he can help, then let him help, I guess.
Something's happening, Coulson. I'm going in.
What the hell happened? Did she die? Oh, yeah, she dying. She dying.
Get back.
I don't know what happened. All she did was touch the guy. And then he took off.
Of course he took off. Oh, no, it's too late. Oh, it's too late. It's too late. Oh. Yeah. The Obelisk definitely isn't letting go of Creel.
All the woman did.
Oh, yeah, flat tires for you, bitch. Oh, it's Hunter.
Between you and Talbot, I know you'll get to Creel first. He's the only thing I want. Well, that and the money you owe me.
You're kidding, right? Because sometimes I can't tell.
No, I'm not. I want my pay.
Yeah, he is
Not
a
just mine,
mercenary, that
but
makes
Harley's
sense.
and Idaho's too.
Okay, now you're kidding.
You like talking to yourself. It's cool. A lot of people do. You know, I like singing in the shower. It's not really the same thing, but I wouldn't want anyone to hear it.
Tough to lose people you care about.
Secret to that? Don't get attached.
Didn't work out so well for you. You know, you got attached to Hartley.
You either.
Everyone needs an exit strategy eventually.
Not me.
Yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D's my life now.
I'd say this is the beginning of Skye's true journey.
Life. It's just a job. Means to an end.
Well, it's not a dead end job.
Remember that.
No. The Obelisk is attached to him now. He can't lose it. And it won't let go of him.
What are you looking at?
Leave them alone, Mr. Creel.
Raina!
Far more important things to discuss.
She's back. Great. Petals. That's the one thing we really needed.
Are you from somewhere?
My name
Damn.
is Raina,
Yeah, it is.
and I'm a huge admirer of yours
Of course you are.
and your gifts.
Of course you are.
I'm gonna do you a solid and not tell my boss about you.
What about the carbine?
It's the cost of doing business.
So he won't give up the Obelisk, but he will happily take the carbine.
Local authorities have his description.
I wonder if it has a tracker in it,
These people are still out
so
there.
she can keep tabs on him.
bar.
Hydra only has one thing on their minds: world domination. Which is so 1945.
What do you want, Raina?
What I don't want,
Very true.
which is the obelisk. Truth is, Mr. Creel stole something from me. Fortunately for the both of us, it has an embedded tracker.
It has a tracker,
You
yeah.
better hurry.
I'll be good. Scout's honor.
Did you ever go to Scouts?
Please, sir. I owe Hartley one.
We could use him.
Well, he's not,
Suit up.
you know, giving in to Talbot like directly. Still giving you the opportunity to escape it.
All about.
Whoa, calm the hell down.
Fitz, come on.
Pissed him off.
I didn't solve this today.
Did you solve it before? Like some other day?
You saying you didn't solve this today? You solved this before?
Yes.
Okay, so find your old
You looking
notes.
for an old design?
Find your
Yes.
old notes.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
great.
All right. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Turbo. All right.
I'm loving Max so far. Must be that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. It's an old design, great. Yeah, I figured from the start, he said I didn't solve this today. Like, okay, what about another day?
Everyone copy?
Copy that. Copy.
Hunter!
Copy that, sir.
Oh,
The package is still
you
in
are
place.
testing
Anyone
my
Creel
faith
has made
and
the
my
exchange.
patience.
Can we get a laser mic on him? Skye, you copy?
No, she doesn't. She's fast asleep. Oh, crap.
Hell no.
That's a hell yes for him, unfortunately. Is he gonna go after Creel on his own? That's not gonna go well, Hunter.
Pass me the case.
Whoa, the armor piercing round. Mm-hmm, the armor piercing round. Ooh, that is a thick bullet. Mm-hmm. Oh! Oh, damn it. Oh, god damn it. Did May and Skye wake up just in time? Oh no, Raina took it. Raina took it. Oh, damn, okay. Ugh. Oh, okay, it worked. It worked. Yep, the design worked. Great. Yep. Diamond, metal, rock, glass. His body can't decide. Or even pure obelisk. Oh, Jesus, pure obelisk. Pure obelisk.
You were never a Boy Scout, were you?
No. Is he still getting that funeral? Is he still gets that funeral?
Creel must have hit you in the head. I shot 3 of your agents.
Including Agent May.
Yeah.
Not a smart move.
Yeah, she'll deal with you
Hydra
herself.
holds a grudge.
Yeah.
Savors it, actually. No doubt. She's made some mistakes.
I've been holding up since you left.
I'm okay.
I'm glad he's talking to
Yes.
someone.
Is Fitz gonna have to deal with that reality as well?
Time with it.
It's understandable.
Oh, is it when he scratches that stuff into the surface? That's his episode. Yeah, he scratches more symbols. Oh, okay, but he's prepared this time. Yeah. Blinds and a blanket to cover up the dust. The music as well makes this all the more ominous. It's really well done. Jesus. No, it's glowing for her. She can hold the obelisk! She can touch the obelisk and it won't do jack shit.
It let you live.
It let her live.
And there's a difference. Bring me my daughter, and I'll show the both of you.
He's Skye's dad! He's Skye's father! Oh, snip, snap. Okay.
Our intel says you don't have enough manpower or artillery to take down a convenience store.
Well, hey, Rome wasn't built in a day. They're building themselves back up. Yeah.
I think we're good in artillery.
They got guns on backup. Whoa! Yeah, they got the bus on backup. Yeah.
Any ideas, General? That's just the tip of the iceberg.
That's good. That was a good reveal. That was a great reveal. Whoa!
Let's get out of
Oh,
here before the
damn.
iceberg runs out of fuel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good sign. And the Quinch, yep, the cloaking technology, they've mastered that. They've got it on lockdown. Yeah. Okay, that was the end of the episode. Wow, that was a great ending. That was a great reveal. Just, you know, one cloaking device, the bus. Next one is the Quinjet. Okay, great. So, heavy is the head. The head was indeed heavy. Okay, so yeah, we get like somewhat of like some new history reveals, and I think what struck me, one of the things that struck me the most in this episode was undoubtedly the shift in Coulson and Skye's relationship. I think that's one of the things I noticed, like especially in this episode right off the bat, and it's like, you know, because like in season 1 we start with the story being that Coulson is discovering all this stuff about his own resurrection. Episode by episode along the way, he feels more different. The more different he feels, the more he feels inclined to, you know, ask questions and seek out those answers, but they're being kept away from him. But as time goes on, the more he discovers, you know, he discovers more and more about Skye as well. And with that stuff, with the Skye stuff, like her being an 084 and her being like adopted, and her backstory, like her backstory in the village, like people being killed trying to protect her and stuff, like all that stuff. He finds it out, he takes the time to process it himself so that he can actually explain to someone else, but then the only other person he's willing to explain to, or that he feels he needs to explain to, is Skye. So he does that as soon as he feels ready to do that, and as soon as he feels that he's capable of doing that. And that's one of the things, like, you know, as soon as he finds out something about Skye, in due time, or, you know, as soon as he possibly can, he tells her, and he tells her alone, so he's actually willing to share those secrets. But with this one now, going into season 2, he's got this whole new set of, like, he's got this whole new thing going on with him and him alone, but he's keeping Skye out of it. And I think it's because, you know, he doesn't know what it is. So, you know, like, I think he just has no idea what it is. He has no idea what he's doing, like what these episodes are. So the episodes are him literally drawing the symbols into the wall. Like, first we saw at the end of season 1, he saw Garrett's symbols. So, yeah. So the GH325 was used on Coulson, but we didn't see anything from him until the very end of the season. But the one injected into Garrett was arguably a more up-to-date version. It was a more updated one. It was one using more recent research that the team had done and the Skye had kept together, the hard drive that they had. That was what Raina used, and all the other samples, or all the other samples that they found, that was all the resources that Raina pulled together and used to come up with a new GH, to come up with a new serum. And that newer one, the updated one, was what was in Garrett's system. So I guess it could be argued that with the newer one, it was faster acting and he had closer visions. But I think, you know, with Garrett, I don't know, because like with Coulson, it was used to resurrect him. It was long after he was dead. It was used to actually bring him back. But with Garrett, he was dying. He was on the verge of death. So it gave him that boost. Like, he was already alive, and it gave him that boost that he needed to transcend his mind into whatever, like into La La Land or whatever. But with Coulson, the only boost he got was from actually being brought back to life again, from like his heart being jump started again, his brain working, all of his organs coming back together. Like him being brought back to life was the one and only boost he got from that. So that would explain why it took so much longer for him to actually get those visions, or for him to get those visions at all. But I think he still, I think when he got boosted, he still had more of his human side intact, and you know, his human side, his curiosity coming together. Like the bigger fish for him to fry was what happened, how it happened, and what the hell's going on. Like how he was brought back, why he was brought back, what they used, stuff like that. So. But with Garrett, I think his body already having those modifications as well, with the centipede serum in it as well. He already had otherworldly stuff in him. So with the GH that was injected into him, he got that boost and he started seeing more stuff. So then he created those symbols, and Coulson saw those symbols, and I think that's what kind of like the seeing those symbols, the way his mind processed it. Part of his mind started taking more control. He started writing all that stuff out. So. You know, he's having more of a it's having more of an effect on him than it did on Garrett. Garrett was starting off small, and then he was killed by Coulson, so he couldn't really write any more stuff down. But with Coulson, he's actually going bigger and bigger, and he's actually drawing on all the walls and stuff. So yeah, so that stuff, I don't know what it could be. I think the way those scenes are executed, I think even in the season 1 finale, I remember, I think they had some kind of ominous music playing, and it zoomed out as he started drawing on the walls, and there was a whole floor of dust. So now he comes prepared. Now May knows about this stuff as well. May is the only other person he's confided in. She puts down the blinds. She lays out a bit of a blanket. And she stands there taking pictures as well, and they're documenting each time this episode happens. So I think he said it was like 18 days or 17 days since the last one. So that's like a fair enough, like, you know, a couple of week kind of time gap between those. So each time it happens, I wonder if he actually blacks out too. Like if like whatever part of his mind is coming up with these symbols and these visions, if he's having the same enough visions as Garrett, like whatever part of his mind comes up with these, maybe it takes control of him for just, you know, however long it takes for him to actually write out those symbols, and then that's what happens. But then they're keeping these documented. They're keeping these documented. They have no idea what it means. But now Skye told Coulson those symbols were on the obelisk as well. When Hartley touched it, those symbols showed up. So clearly it has something to do, like the obelisk connects to it in some way. And Hartley never had anything to do with this GH325 stuff or any of that, but when she touched it, it still showed up. So the obelisk is something. The obelisk is some kind of relic, but yeah, this stuff. And I think he even had a gun. Like he had like a pile of photos scattered about, and then over one of them he had a gun. So I'm wondering what the gun's there for. Like, it's not gonna make it. What kind of contingency would he need for that? I mean, it seems like a contingency, like the gun being there. Like, you know, if he ever tries something, because I mean, he does have a knife in his hand. So if he ever, he wouldn't be able to kill May. But I don't know. The gun raises questions. It raises concerns that I don't really know the answers to just yet. But yeah, that stuff's there. So he's not telling Skye about that stuff. So this kind of stuff. I mean, again, in his defense, he doesn't know what any of this stuff means. He doesn't understand enough yet. May doesn't understand it. Like they're just kind of keeping track of what they do know, and it's that every couple of weeks, Coulson has episodes, and in these episodes, he actually, you know, he potentially blacks out, and then starts scratching the circles and the symbols and stuff into the walls, and it covers the entire wall. It's not just like a small frame or something, but he clears off the entire wall and he covers the wall in this stuff. I mean, he must have a stepladder or something, because some of the heights he wouldn't even be able to reach. But yeah, like if we go back and look through it, let's say, like it's actually covering up enough of the wall. Yeah, like it goes on, and she's taking pictures, and yeah, okay, yeah, he does have a stepladder. He does actually have a stepladder. So yeah, again, just planning ahead, seeing if he actually does need to cover up the wall. So yeah, so it's like straight lines and then circles being connected by them, and then some like really flat, thin ovals and stuff like that. I mean, at first glance, I'd say it looks like some kind of circuitry or some kind of diagram, like a schematic for something. Yeah, like, I mean, it could be like a language, like in the Flash when Barry was writing those symbols on the wall, like that was like some kind of Speed Force language, I think. But with this, it could be a language. It could be some kind of like diagram for something, could be plans or whatever, like visions. I think Raina said, okay, I'll get to Raina in a second, but Raina said Garrett had visions, and like visions of the future, like like she said, like, you know, he had visions of our future. So this was clearly one of the things he saw. So what if this is some kind of language? Like the GH325, right? It's alien blood. It is alien blood. That is the main component. If not the only one, it's the main component to the GH325. It's alien blood. The blue alien, whatever it was, that is its blood is the main component of the GH325. So what if by absorbing that blood, you absorb the kind of mental characteristics of that alien, like you start seeing their language. Maybe this could be its language. Maybe these circles and these lines could be its language, or whatever, or even its knowledge. If Garrett had visions of the future and visions of fate, maybe he absorbed the inner knowledge and the inner workings of that alien, and he starts speaking its language and stuff like that. But this is the main thing we've seen so far, like them actually drawing these symbols and stuff into the wall. And yeah, so I don't know, but he said he had visions of the future. So I think I don't know what that would mean for Garrett, but then this is the main thing we've been seeing. So this has to play into, and this has to be connected to the obelisk, because the obelisk shows this. The obelisk shows these circles and these symbols and everything. So has to be connected in some way. And I think there was actually something. I think I was watching the episode back. Let me go back to episode 1, mind you. Let me go back to episode 1. There's something I remember seeing. Yeah. So that's the obelisk. Yeah. Yeah, that's Peggy. Yeah. The Howling Commandos. Yeah. Just go forward a bit. Yeah, right here. Okay. Yeah. This, I didn't clock this the first time round because she shot it way too quickly, but then going back into the episode just a bit and seeing it in like in Liam Catterson's reaction as well. Yeah, so the box that Dugan opens shows an alien. It shows a blue alien, most likely the same blue alien that was used for the GH325, and I think that's his arm or something. Like it shows the circles and then the lion, and then it shows the same symbols. So this alien, the obelisk, and the symbols, all those three things are connected. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a note of that. So blue alien, obelisk, and the circles. Yeah, because it's mainly circles instead of just random symbols. So yeah. So what could this mean? So the obelisk, it could be. So what, is the obelisk like an iPhone to them? Is that how they communicate or something? They just start, they just hold it and imagine who they want to. I don't know, but probably not an iPhone to them. But I don't know. But the obelisk is connected to this thing somehow. The blue alien, I think this could be the same blue alien that they used for the GH325, and then the symbols come into play as well. The symbols could be, they're their language. It could be what's imprinted on their brain. So you take a sample of their blood and it's connected to their brain, connected to how they live and how they think and all that sort of stuff. So whoever absorbs those chemical properties and those biological properties, they absorb whatever made this blue alien talk. So I mean, I keep calling it a blue alien. I don't know what it could be. Not a Skrull. Skrulls are green. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe are there any blue aliens? I think Nebula. Nebula's a blue alien. I don't know what planet she's from though. Nebula, there's Yondu. Don't know what planet he's from. I don't know. There's Ronan. I think he was was he blue? I don't know. I can't remember if he was blue. I don't know. Let me look him up. I don't know. Hold on. Am I spoiling myself by looking into all this stuff? I don't know. I'm not gonna look that up in case it's a spoiler of some kind. I mean, could he? What was Ronan? He was Cree, wasn't he? He was Cree. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if Ronan was exactly blue though. I think he was like a blue or a greenish blue, like a turquoise. I don't know. But this one is like a nice kind of ocean blue shade of blue, so that's cool. But yeah, this alien, this has to be something to do with it. I have that kind of feeling, but I don't want to think about it too much in case I spoil it for myself and I eventually figure out. I mean, any theory I could come up with could still probably be miles off. I remember some of the theories I came up with in season 1. They were interesting, but pretty far off. So there's nothing worth kind of speculating on there. But yeah, so the blue alien, the obelisk, and the circles are all somehow connected. So Coulson is seeing all that stuff, and he's keeping it from Skye. And I think that's gonna be an interesting thing to see unfold in the season, like the how their dynamic changes. Because again, I think the thing that May mentioned as well, that he's not just Agent Coulson anymore. He's not just an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's the director of the new S.H.I.E.L.D. and that means overseeing the world and the world's safety and actually protecting the world. It's not just about worrying about Skye or just even the team anymore. He has to worry about everyone and how everyone's doing, and that everyone on Earth is safe and protected from otherworldly threats. So I think that like seeing how that shifts, how that changes, like how like seeing how it changes, how open he is and how open he can be with her from here on out is going to be an interesting thing to explore and see how it actually shifts. But there is a fairly clear shift. There is a fairly clear shift in their relationship with each other and how things are between them and how that kind of dynamic is. But I mean, he still sees her as Skye. He still sees her as Skye as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and she is a very, very valuable asset and she's proven her worth and they still have all the history together. But I think it's just the fact that, some things just can't really stay the same forever, and now this season is showing off exactly that. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. What else? So Raina returned. So what happened to her in the last season? I think she was let go, right? Yeah, she left. Yeah, after the stuff with Garrett killing the thing, killing the military general dude. So she left after that. But she returns now. She returns to Creel. She returns to Carl Creel, and she returned with a carbine ring. So it's to do with the carbon salvaged from stardust or something, and it's about like 3 times stronger than diamonds, and it can harness and contain energy too. So it's kind of like an energy ring. But he took it. We didn't see him wear it, but he took the ring anyway. So there's that. But I think Raina wanted. Raina wanted the obelisk. She wanted the obelisk. She took it back to the man who now we know is Skye. I recognize the actor. I've seen him in other stuff, but I don't know his name. And it's the case with quite a few actors, honestly. It's like I see them in trailers and in movies and different things, and I can remember the face, but I can never pinpoint the name. But he was in How I Met Your Mother. I remember him from that. He played I don't know, some guy to do with Ted. I think I haven't watched that show in so long, but I remember him from How I Met Your Mother. He was the dude obsessed with boats, wasn't he? I think so. I think he was the dude obsessed with boats. But yeah, so now he's in this, and he is Skye's father. He said, "Bring me," but he said, "Bring me my daughter, and I'll show you both more of what this thing can do." But Raina, it let Raina live. The obelisk, he said it didn't just let you touch it; it actually let you live. So it's like the obelisk has a mind of its own, and it can actually, it can either let I was about to say reader. It lets the wielder live or die based on what though? Like, is it like a Mjolnir thing? Is it like whoever's worthy? Like, what makes you special? Like with Creel, he absorbed its properties, but he just couldn't. I thought absorbing the tire's rubber properties would actually allow him just to wield it. Like it would mean that he wasn't properly touching it, since his skin turned to rubber. It absorbed those properties. It changed. So it wasn't skin on obelisk. It wasn't skin on obelisk contact. I thought that would save him, but no. The obelisk was still powerful enough to still come into contact with him in some way, and he absorbed his properties. He absorbed a piece of it into his arm, and it was sticking out, and then it was growing out to his skin. So I don't think it could kill him. I don't think it could kill him, because I think it engulfed him at the end of the episode. But then Coulson revealed that he was still in like a cryo chamber, and it was like it was going to wear off soon. So I don't think that. I think as much as it engulfs him and overpowers him, I think there's still like some kind of time limit or something for it to wear off on him. So yeah, but yeah, Skye's dad. So he's looking a lot cleaner. His arm, he was cleaning off some stuff on his arm, maybe the blood that we saw at the end of season 1. But I don't know. But he's definitely looking not so injured. But yeah, he apparently knows something about the workings of the obelisk. He knows the secrets of the obelisk. He said, bring me my daughter and I'll show you all the more it can do. But yeah, so it let Raina live. But even when she touched it, it glowed. It wasn't just the symbols; it glowed when she touched it. It actually glowed up. So that's never happened before. So what's so special about Raina that it glows when she touches it? I don't know. I feel like there's. I get the feeling there's a lot more to Raina than meets the eye, and I'm almost afraid to find out exactly what is it that meets the eye, or even what's behind beyond those eyes. But yeah, there's something about Raina that the Obelisk maybe likes or sees something special in her, so it let her live. It let her live. So, I mean, she does keep going on about the potential of human beings and the potential of everyone involved in this kind of story, and like like everyone has a role to play, and like Garrett saw everyone's futures and everyone's fate and everything. So she seems to believe that gifted people especially have some kind of role to play in the coming. Not crisis, but she believes in that kind of story, and everyone has a part to play, and everyone's potential to do the best with what they have, to do good with what they have, all the gifts they have. So she's always shown that kind of affinity and interest in special people. So maybe it sees that in her. Maybe it sees the work that she's doing. Like maybe she touched it, maybe it analyzed her head or something, like her mind and what she's about and what she's capable of, and it said like oh, you can do some good stuff with people. Like your methods are somewhat debatable in terms of safety and ethicalness and ethics. But she still has a part to play. So maybe it did something along those lines. But it let her live, so she can now use the extra lifeline that the remaining lifeline that the Obelisk granted her, and she can find Skye and bring her to her father. So that would be quite the reveal to see unfold. But yeah, Raina had returned. What else? So yeah, we had Mac and Fitz. That was an interesting team up to see. Mac and Fitz was an interesting thing to see. Mac, yeah, he just seems like a really great guy. I think he just seems like I think he gets along well with Fitz, and I think Fitz Simmons definitely did say he's not like the others. He's honest. He's a bit blunt, but he's honest nonetheless. And I think with Mac, he's more directly honest. Like he doesn't like mock him or anything, but he does like kind of identify that Fitz isn't like he's talking to himself, he's doing his own kind of thing, but in like a worrying way. So he's kind of like there for him, and he's kind of showing kind of interest in actually talking to him. And he has an interest in this kind of science and these kinds of like advanced tech and mechanics and all that sort of stuff. So he gets along well with Fitz in that way. And Fitz kept on saying like oh, I didn't solve this today. So it's like from the beginning I was thinking like he didn't solve this today. Does he mean? I mean, what does he mean? I mean, my instinctive thought was, okay, maybe he solved this yesterday, or he solved this some other day. Like he's already solved this today. He's already solved this before, but it's not today, and he's always focused on today and what he can do today. So like Mac being like, okay, so you didn't solve this today. Have you solved this before? Or is it one of your old designs? And I was like, yeah, that would be the logical conclusion. And then, them just looking on the iPad through Fitz's design and finding the right one and then working together, like that stuff is cool to see. And I think it's like a nice little step forward from the last episode. Like Fitz is isolated, but I mean, he's isolated physically. Mentally, he always has Simmons by his side. She's always talking him through stuff. She's always helping him come up with the words and stuff. So, if he's talking to anyone else, he doesn't really get along with them. He's going through this thing where he's really insecure because he believes that the others are kind of like mocking him or something, like especially the other scientists are just like looking at him and looking at each other like all confused, like what the fuck is he on about? So he's insecure because of that, and then his own teammates, he thinks that that they're avoiding him like the plague. He thinks that they're avoiding him like the plague because of his condition. So he doesn't really fit in with them too much anymore, and even they know that he's not really the same Fitz as before. Like sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't, and it's a different thing for him now. It's a different condition, so they have to treat him as best as they can. But Skye is holding a grudge. Skye is holding a grudge on Simmons. She thingy Trip was like, I can't believe she just up and left and like abandoned him like that. And then Skye was like, no, she abandoned all of us. So Skye's holding a grudge. So I wonder if that means she actually, she kind of left on such short notice. Surely she would have given a goodbye to the team. Like, she didn't just pack up a bag and leave in the middle of the night. Like, that seems very unlike her. It seems like, she would have at least, told them that, that she would be back soon, maybe, or that she was, or maybe if she didn't know when she would be back, but she knew she had to go, but she didn't know when she would be back. So it's like, it feels more like she's abandoning them in that sense. Like, her not really saying much else, her leaving Fitz in this condition. It's not really fair, and, stuff like that. So, but Skye is holding a grudge. Skye is holding a grudge against her for doing so. So, I feel like she might not be back for a while then. Like, if abandonment is the feeling that if abandonment is the feeling the team has right now, I feel like they might try and stick with that for a good enough while before letting Simmons back into the mix and stuff. So how that stuff's gonna go, I'm not too sure. But that's that. But yeah, Mac and Fitz, I think they work well together. I think even Skye, even May was pointing out that it's good to see him finally talking to someone for once. Other than himself, and even I think in that scene it was when Mac mentioned that I know it's been hard for you, it's been tough for you since Simmons left. It's hard to lose a good partner, and then he looks over at where he imagined Simmons would be. I think that that could be a moment where he kind of starts to think about whether or not Simmons is actually there, because I think the entirety of the last episode he was fully convinced that Simmons was there by his side, being a friend to him when no one else was, and being the friend that he needed. So that's again, that's more proof that he's imagining what Simmons would have been like. Like earlier on when he moved on from the cloaking stuff to Creel, it was him talking about helping the other scientists with that mission and actually helping them with that, like using the research on his DNA to come up with their own thing. Like Simmons saying don't just hijack the project from them. Actually do your own thing, but also we'll work at their pace and all that stuff, and don't just steal their information from them. But then you're like going back and forth, like that kind of stuff. Seemed more like a gag more than anything at that kind of realization that Fitz is imagining Simmons as what he would want her to say and what he would want her to do, as well as what he somewhat realistically knows what Simmons would actually be like. But now with someone actually pointing out the fact that Simmons isn't really there and that Simmons is gone, he's actually on. I think he's on the way to realizing that Simmons is gone. Simmons is gone. Like the Simmons he sees is the Simmons he wants to see. The one that's still there. The one that still kind of stands with him, stands by him, thick and thin, through thick and thin. As opposed to the real Simmons who isn't even there at all, and she's gone her own way for whatever reason, for however long. So I feel like that's gonna have an effect on him as well. And I think it's gonna. This episode alone gave us a bit of a bonding between Mac and Fitz. I feel like going forward, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more between them, a lot more from them. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. But Mac, he's a really cool guy. I think he does. I just imagine him as a giant teddy bear. He looks like I think he looks like I'm going to be honest here. He looks like he gives really great hugs. He looks like a giant teddy bear. That's it. That's all I get from him. He's really soft and forward with Fitz. In that scene, he was kind of like asking him direct questions. He knew that he wasn't being hard on him, but he was just asking him direct questions, trying to get information out of him, and trying to be forward with him. Not really, that's what Fitz's fear was, that people avoid him like the plague, and people avoid being direct with him. People think that he's going to break if they ask too many questions, or if they ask him something sensitive. But with Mac, it's like, oh, you talk to yourself, that's cool. Loads of people talk to themselves. I sing to myself in the shower sometimes. He's actually trying to relate to him and be relatable to him, and he's scolding the other scientists for making him feel uncomfortable and stuff, like go away, you pissed them off, stuff like that. But he's actually getting actively wanting to work with him, actively taking the time to make him feel comfortable and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, he just looks like he gives really great hugs. That's it. He just looks like a giant teddy bear. That's it. But even a name like Mac, like he doesn't even sound like a big brutish guy. He just sounds like a great guy to hang out with and have good times, and like could crack open a beer and talk science or talk mechanics or whatever. But he looks like he gives really great hugs. So yeah. But yeah, it was good to see Mac and Fitz bonding. It was great to see Mac and Fitz bonding this episode. So looking forward to seeing more of their friendship kind of evolving in the coming episodes. But yeah, that was that. We had Hunter, stuff going on with Hunter, him and his false and fake Scout's honor. His Scout's honor being like, him saying Scout's honor that he would follow orders, but then in the end him just wanting revenge. I think he did want revenge, not necessarily on S.H.I.E.L.D. alone or even Coulson alone, but he wanted revenge on Creel. Creel was the one who killed her by toppling the car over and taking her out for the count. So he wanted that, and then he made the deal with Talbot. Then him being a mercenary, it made sense that he would kind of go in for the money, but it wasn't even personal gain. He is a merc, but he's a merc with a heart. Wade Wilson is the merc with a mouth, but Lance Hunter is the merc with a heart. He actually, he cared about Isabel and he cared about Idaho as well, and he wanted them to get the respect in death that they deserve. So the money wasn't even for. I think I'd like to think that he didn't specify directly. He just said the money. He wanted money from Talbot, but he also wanted the burial. So the burial thing was out of respect as well. He wanted them to get the proper kind of recognition and goodbye from their families and their friends that they deserved. The money, I don't know. I mean, at first glance, I feel like the money thing could just be him asking for payment because he's a merc and he needs money to get around and stuff. But I think on the other hand, I feel like the money could be like a severance package for Idaho and Hartley, like him giving forward some money to their families to actually help them move forward financially as well, and actually help them pay for anything else that they might want. Personally, I mean, so, and he kept behind the necklace that Izzy's sister Jane had before. So, he still cares about Izzy and Idaho very much, and he wanted the best for them in death, and he wanted it, and he was willing to get that no matter what. He was willing to get it. I think he didn't immediately set out Coulson either. He asked for the means to get back to Coulson, but then he actually shook off his tail followers before getting back to Coulson's base, and he knew that would set off the alarm, and he knew that Coulson. I mean, he had some idea. I think that Coulson had tabs on him in that way, and Coulson knew pretty much everything. He knew about the car, he knew about the deal with Tower, he knew about the $2 million. So it shows that he did make the deal, but he wasn't intent on handing Coulson out or actually leading Talbot to his front door or selling him out in any way. But Coulson did still make that deal. He wanted Hunter to sell him out in the end so that he could show Talbot what they were capable of, and the fact that they could handle themselves. And the deal he wanted, they keep bringing Talbot people like Creel, like criminals and gifted criminals and whatnot. Talbot keeps locking them up, and he keeps getting all those promotions. And in return, Talbot gives S.H.I.E.L.D. and Coulson and S.H.I.E.L.D. the breathing room they need to do their own work and to keep finding these people and to get to work to taking down the rest of Hydra. So yeah, but yeah, I think Hunter was given the offer by Coulson to become an official S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. So I feel like that might do him some good. I think as a mercenary, he would always be on the run. He would always be there without anyone on the back. I think he worked well with Hunter with Hartley and Idaho, so he always had them watching his six, and he was watching their six as well. So, and he got along especially well with Hartley as well. Like they were great friends, and they met through his ex-wife. So I feel like with that one, I think back then I think with that one he was comfortable with the mercenary life because he had others watching him as well, and he had others with him. But now I think he's kind of like, him being alone would just give him more time to think about what he lost, and it would give him more time to actually, kind of be like, to be aware of the fact that he misses Hartley and Idaho and that he lost them as well to this job. Whereas working with S.H.I.E.L.D., he would have a new team, a team willing to trust him. Like Coulson even said, he knows people who vouch for him. So you get along well with them. But I mean, May, he shot her with an icer, so that wouldn't really go down well. I think even Coulson said, she doesn't really hold a grudge, she savors it. It's what she did with Ward. She savored that grudge, and we know exactly how that stuff went down. She shot him in the foot with the nails, and then just karate chopped his larynx out of his throat and everything. So yeah, we know exactly how that stuff's gonna go down. But I think I'm like half sure she's not gonna go that brutal with Hunter, but she's probably gonna give him a good few knocks in the jaw and in the nose or whatever. So yeah, but working with S.H.I.E.L.D., I think he would be a great addition, and I think he would actually get along well with the team. And he already got along great with Skye in Hartley's room. So Yeah, I feel like I feel like the most likely scenario would be that, you know, he actually does join S.H.I.E.L.D. and he does stick with them for a while and just see how things go. But we'll see. We'll see exactly how stuff goes. I think he probably isn't going to get his own uniform. He's probably not going to go the full-fledged spy kind of route. But he's going to stick with S.H.I.E.L.D. He's going to become an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's going to work his own way, but he's still going to, you know, be following their orders and be doing their missions. So he's going to be an interesting kind of more permanent addition. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have written down from this episode. I think this one was, it's weird because I think I don't know. It just feels because I mean, well, kind of outside of this, outside of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this week has been a very, very busy week. So I haven't had the chance to record anything since Monday. So this is my this is my first kind of jump back into recording videos since Monday. Like all those days, haven't watched anything at all. So it feels weird, like going nearly enough a full week without having recorded anything. So that's kind of weird. But hopefully by next week I can actually, you know, get back into something steadier. But yeah, if this was a weirder reaction to watch, I apologize. That's the reason. Haven't done this in a few days, and it's kind of taken me out of my groove just a bit. So hopefully this was still somewhat enjoyable to watch. But yeah, this was still a great episode. I think it didn't. I mean, I want to say that it didn't feel as heavy as the opener, and I think it's understandable because the opener was the one that set things off course. But with this one, it's just kind of still carrying us through that route that the opener actually took us on. So it's kind of like a good enough mix between drama and emotion. So they're riding that train well, and still teasing us, still giving us plenty of teasers in the beginning, middle, and end to actually keep us hooked onto it. So yeah, but that is pretty much all I have from this episode. Looking forward to seeing how things actually go down in the next one. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have. So that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 2, titled Heavy is the Head. So thank you guys so much for watching. Karma intro. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next in this season. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.